Alright, next up, Nightmares, released by Severin Films. Not to be confused with Nightmare, that's going to be released, I think, this month by Code Red, aka Nightmares and Damaged Brain. This is an Australian slasher film, so not the same thing. I'm not going to tell you the backstory. I'm just going to tell you where it picks up after that. Basically, a group of thespians are putting on a play, and people start dying. It is in more of a giallo style than a typical American style slasher movie. Usually in American slasher films, the characters are not very believable and douchebags. This is more of a serious tone, more like a giallo. A lot of point of view shots. It just takes on a more serious tone than what you would typically think of as an American slasher. Major problem with this is you know who the killer is within the first killing. Not because they show the face. They don't show you who it is until the end. And yes, I'm sure that there are people that can say, well, we don't know for sure that that's who it was because of the theme of the film and it being a lot of what could be considered as dream sequences or visions of the future. But now I'm probably just confusing you. But from the backstory and the very first time you see the killer, what you see of the killer, you know exactly who the killer is, which honestly is almost a slap in the face. And they don't do too much to dissuade you from thinking that that's who it is. The film is well made, and it's really surprisingly sleazy. I didn't expect it to be quite as sleazy as it was. And the killer uses broken glass, and that's all. Every time breaks a mirror, breaks a window, picks up a piece of broken glass, which, with the backstory, makes sense and is kind of interesting. But to be honest, it gets kind of boring. Every single kill is with a broken piece of glass, and most slasher films, there's different ways of dispatching victims. Not in this movie. Same old thing every time. And yes, a little graphic here and there, but not really. Not that much. Now, this movie's been getting good reviews, and honestly, that's the reason I picked it up. It's not a terrible film, but I have to say, about midway through, I was bored to death. I couldn't care less about any of these fucking characters. I couldn't care less. You already knew who the killer was. You just knew. You have to be a complete moron not to know. They pretty much give it to you on a silver platter. And then again, like I said, don't dissuade you. Don't give out any other red herrings as to, ooh, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's this person. No, they don't really do that. And like I said, along with the giant kind of lull in the middle of really not much going on, tied in with every killing is almost exactly the same. It's just you're getting stabbed in a different place of the body. Yes, it's a naked girl running in an alley, but you know what? You did that in the first 10 minutes. I was just bored. And this thing has been getting good reviews, and it is well done, and it does have a style to it. But it has a style to me that I've seen before, which is the Italian giallo. I've seen it, and I've seen it done way better. So I didn't really enjoy this thing. It's not terrible. It's not a complete waste of time, and it's not the worst way you can spend 80 minutes of your life. But it's definitely not something that you're going to want to, pop in a lot. It's just sort of, to me, it's very, it could have been very good. but there are a lot of things that I think were taken for granted um, as being a slasher film. That being said, um, there is an audio commentary with the director, John Lamon, and the guy that did Not Quite Hollywood, which is a great documentary if you haven't seen it. It's about Australian exploitation films called Oz Exploitation. Um, a brief history of slasher films featurette with the guy that wrote Going to Pieces, um, which is actually a really good featurette. It's actually way better than the damn film, in my opinion. Theatrical trailer and a John Lamon, the director, trailer reel. So, in my opinion, um, very well made, but albeit boring entry in the slasher genre. So, if you can rent it, I would say rent it, not buy it. So, coming up, I got a lot of stuff. I'm getting ready to watch the Zombie Holocaust Blu-ray. Going to be Hobo with a Shotgun, The Baby, Arrow Video's Slaughter High, and Frat House Massacre from Cineps. So we'll see you guys then.